Good morning everyone and welcome to Growing Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name's Tom Novak and today we're going to attempt a second attempt at growing Kyoto Moss. So far it hasn't come up as of 6/24, but we're going to try it out, and then I'm going to try growing some Sidewalk Moss. Today is September 13th of 2021. It's 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now at 21 degrees Celsius, around 6:30 in the morning today. The number one grower in moss is Cherie Chi, Cherie. Her second name is Chi. If you look her up on YouTube, I think she's one of the best in growing moss. But I'm going to do Kyoto Moss again, but what I'm going to do is use straight vermiculite this time into our soil, so we have a nice sterile soil mix. And then Sidewalk Moss, what I did is I pulled up the moss from the cracks in the sidewalk, put vermiculite into the blender, and it's an old blender, so don't take your wife's blender, guys. And I just ground it up with the vermiculite, and then we're going to plant it and see what we got. Now the Sidewalk Moss we'll put outside. I didn't punch the holes in this because I wanted to hold water for the moss outside. The Kyoto Moss, I punched holes in it, and I also have the top I'm going to use as a cover to see if we can keep it moist, and just keep an eye on the level of the moisture level. I couldn't get the other moss, so I found some New England moss that sells also Kyoto Moss. So we're going to try that out. So maybe it's my fault on the last batch, but hey, we're going to try it out. You never give up. Never give up. So the first thing we're going to do is go and take, let's see what I got. See, if you write in paint marker, then you know what you got. So here's our Kyoto Moss container. I'm going to stick it here. I'm going to take our vermiculite and just pour it into our tray. I'm just going to push it down like that. And we're going to get Mr. Elephant to put some water in here. And let's see. I got it about up to the top. And we're going to give it a squirt to help it get moist real fast. Just like that. Just moisten it in real good. That's all you do is spray it in. And this should start absorbing. If not, just pat it down. So, I should have wet the bottom of the tray first to start the absorption rate. But you live and you learn. So all we do is keep moistening it so the vermiculite gets good and saturated. Just like that. And it absorbed most of the water. That's good. See that? I'll get Mr. Elephant. I'll put some more water in the tray. And let him absorb all the water he can get. Like that. Just pat it in. You want to make sure all this is wet. Right now it's not, so I'm going to just keep moistening it in. Just like that. Don't be afraid. Might even be better off doing it on our dish. Just adding it in. There we go. It's a little bit better that way. Just pat it down. Now you don't need a lot here, because moss doesn't require a deep depth. Just moisten it in. Just pat it dry into there. That's all we do, is just push it in. So we got a nice flat surface. And we're going to open our sprayer a little bit more so we can get more out of here. Just like that. Moisten it until it gets super saturated here. Now it says in all the instructions, anything that I can find on this Kyoto Moss says it needs to be sterile soil. So this is the sterilest soil I can find is the vermiculite. So now we'll take it out of our package. Now there is some dust that fell out of our package. I don't know if it has a hole in it. So what we're going to do is just gently sprinkle it in. Now we're not going to cover this. We're not going to cover it at all. Just place it on the top of the soil. Take a little more, open up the bag, and just, it's like a fine dust. And all we're going to do is put it into the vermiculite. Now, with vermiculite, you can see exactly where you're putting the moss. Let me see if I can show you. See? You can see exactly where the moss went. Here's some clumps. I don't know what this is. If this is just the soil that it came in, we're just going to squirt it all over the top here. Just crack it up. Just like that. And we're just going to give it a nice light spray so it gets into the vermiculite real good. See, now you can see with the vermiculite and the way the soil mixes, how it looks. Now we're just going to cover it. We'll put it in the basement again where it gets some light. And that's it. And keep our fingers crossed. Now we're going to wet this so we can start the absorption rate. Put a little bit of our water in to our dish here. That's what's good. You can get these dishes at the dollar store. They're $1, but well worth it. The usefulness and planting and catching all your soil is very good. So now we're just gonna pat it out, make it straight. Push it in. Give it a nice watering. It's important to get it good and saturated. Because if you're watching the sidewalks, this moss I picked out of the sidewalks where it's in full sun, because that's where my trees are usually in full sun. Now if I have trees that are in like half shade, half sun, then I'll go look for moss that's growing in shade. But right now it's been dry a while, no rain for a while, and whatever rain did come, just it was a light rain. At least we had it. All you do is moisten it in real good. I didn't have a container big enough to put the tray into there to soak up the water faster. But this is good because now you can see it's real super wet. There you go. Light, but it's nice and wet. Now we're going to take our moss. All I did was put it in this blender, ground it up with some vermiculite. Let's see if it'll grow. I mean, and with this we'll leave outside, and we'll just put it in. And all you do is take your clumps and just grind them up and put them inside. So hopefully this will take. Put it on thick because we don't know what's going to grow and what's not going to grow. Plus I got the vermiculite mixed in there real good. And when you grind it up with everything, it even makes it a little bit more finer than what it really is. But that's all we're going to do is just put it in. I got some more left. I can probably start a smaller tray. And all we're going to do is wet it in. Just like that. And as you can see, there's a soil mixed in with the vermiculite. See, look at that. So this is just going to sit in our tray like this outside and see if we can get some moss growing. I'll have another little tray. These just our food trays or mushroom trays or whatever trays you can find. Let's see. Get our towel here, wipe out the bottom. And then what I'll do, because I don't have a hole in this one, I'll just use my scissors and just punch a hole. It's just plastic, so you get a nice hole in there just with your scissors. And all you want, this is for drainage. So let's see how much sidewalk moss we can get. And what I'll do is I'll take my paint marker and just put on here sidewalk moss. Oh, see if we can get the paint out. I guess not. This one's dry as a bone. Well, I guess this one's shot. So let's see what else we got here. Always use lipstick. Doesn't write very well, but use what you got. Frozen berries lipstick. Ha! Something different. Okay, so we got that in there. We're going to just moisten the bottom real good. Put some more of our vermiculite into the bottom. Remember, it doesn't have to be deep. And we're going to try this out. Got nothing to lose. Well, maybe on the Kyoto Moss because I paid for it, but I mean on sidewalk moss, just give it a try. Now sidewalk moss, you can always just take what you find and put it in water and let it soak, and it should rehydrate real good. But right now I want to get this so I have enough moss to grow to harvest. And this is the only way that I think that I can do it. No, she's dry. Thought it'd work. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just keep wetting it. And this absorbed the moisture from the dish super fast. Once you get this thing, all the stress, so to say, out of it, it absorbs the moss or the water fast on the vermiculite. So I'll just pat it down. There we go. Have to wash the shirt later. And just sprinkle it in. So if it grows nice and thick, good. I'll get some left over here. Put it in the bare spots. And we'll see what happens. So if you got an old blender and you got a new one, save it and use it for lining up your moss or whatever soil you need. If your particles are too thick, and just use that. Now you can see when the vermiculite, how it absorbs the water right away. So we got 2 dishes going of Sidewalk moss. See what happens. Just keep it moist. We'll keep the Sidewalk moss outside and the Kyoto moss inside because it says it needs a good sterile environment to start growing. So I don't know. We'll try it out. And there you have it. If it grows, it grows. If it don't, well, we gave it a shot. And the Kyoto moss, there's no harm in trying. Never give up. Never give up. So today's Monday. It's comedy night. Time for the Bickersons. The Life of Riley, Duffy's Tavern, George Burns and Gracie Allen, Fibber McGee and Molly, Jack Benny. Who else do we have over there? Abbott and Costello. So you guys take care. Enjoy a nice old-time radio broadcast tonight. Sit down, relax, have a nice hot cup of tea to relax yourself, and have a good day. It looks dark, it looks cloudy. Maybe we'll get some rain today. I have no idea. But we'll see. So hopefully our moss will grow. I'll let you know. Take care, everybody, and thank you for coming to Growing Clip Bonsai for Seniors.